Welcome to Inside the Den. This is a new side of the Wolf Condition series where I talk about more personal, lived in experiences rather than different frameworks. So, same brain, just a different room. I'm Asena, and today I'm talking about how my two very different dogs is teaching me a new side of pattern recognition, self leadership, and how one system can never fit two different animals. So, let's get into it. I have two dogs. One is a pit mix named Cooper. He's 2.5. And I also have a Doberman that's 5 months old. And if I trained them both the same exact way, I would fail both of them. That's what this episode is about today. So Cooper is the pit mix, and he's built like a linebacker, has a heart of a golden retriever, and he only responds to warmth and repetition. And you have to be careful of your tone because his wiring reads sharpness as rupture, and he gets very sensitive and hurt, and you can tell. But with my other dog, Alton, if I talk to him that way, he sees that as a lack of structure and he will start making up a job of his own and think he's in charge, which is what you don't want with a Doberman. So I have to constantly be giving him work to do or a command, and be firm with him about what I want. But if I use that same tone with Cooper, it would devastate him. So, same house, two very different dogs, two different parenting styles. So, it just comes down to how the framework has to flex somehow. And here's where it stops being about animals and more about people. I think a lot of people pick one leadership style and they apply that to everything in their life, whether it be every employee, every project, every client. And then once it fails, they wonder why it stopped working. And it's because the variables change. But the framework wouldn't fail for, maybe a Cooper type person. You just need to lead with more connection before correction. And if you come cold and clinical, they might see that as rejection and pull back. But Alton type people exist too. They're sharp, they're fast, they're capable, and they just need a more clear structure and they will absolutely be able to deliver. If you're a manager, a founder, a partner, or a parent, you don't really get to choose one leadership style and use it all across the board. You have to do the work and get to know who you're in a position of leadership for. So that's the part I didn't expect is that by training my dogs, I'm learning how to refine my own leadership skills. With Alton, he's teaching me to be more disciplined and intentional about my commands and the structure in how we spend time together. Whereas with Cooper, I'm learning that um, slowing down isn't a bad thing and that being soft with your delivery isn't a weakness, that it can be strategic and a tool to get, the right people to be more productive. It's just all about personality. People can be opposites and still be equally productive. It just depends on the way that you're delivering your message. So, the kindest thing that you can do with somebody that needs directness is just being clear with them and cutting the fluff and just getting straight to the point. Whereas with somebody like Cooper, you will have to get to know them a little bit better and see how you can get them to be more comfortable to open up to you. I run a consulting firm and I work with a lot of agricultural operators, farms that are dealing with H2A compliance, multi state payroll, and they all have different operating systems. Some clients are like Cooper's and they need the warmth in the relationship, they want the check ins, and they need to be held before I deliver the bad news about their I-9s. And some clients are like Alton's where they would just want the message clear, direct, they want open rapport building, and they think I'm wasting their time if the delivery isn't just sharp and to the point. If I have the same playbook for all the different types of people that I'm working with, I'd be losing out on a lot of business. So the technical skills, payroll, compliance, spreadsheets, those are things that anyone in my space can do, but being able to read the person in front of you and adjusting the delivery of your message without diluting the substance, being able to give the same lesson in a different room is just such a good skill to have. This is what I want to leave you with. If something isn't working, whether that be a team member, a client, a relationship, a kid, before you assume that that person is broken, ask yourself what system you're running on. You might be giving too much warmth to somebody that needs more structure, or you might be giving too much structure to somebody that needs more warmth. You need to know exactly who you're working with before you wonder why people are responding badly. You got to adjust the system, and that's the whole thing. So I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Inside the Den. I'm Asena, and I appreciate you being here. Please like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, go ahead and follow. I appreciate your listening, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.